My name is Kessa, and I'm a horticulturist here at Berkshire Botanical Garden, and I'm lucky enough to be able to manage our beautiful vegetable garden. The people who know anything about me would know that I love a fall garden, but one thing I love more is the vegetable garden. So when those two things come together, it makes me extremely happy. Today, I wanted to talk about something special in the vegetable garden, which are all of the beautiful flowers and why I might plant them there, not just for beauty, but also to serve a purpose. Not only do the flowers in the vegetable garden bring a really beautiful pop of color, like these African marigolds, which are giant orange, they also serve the purpose of acting as companion plants. So companion plants, they come in a couple of different categories, and marigolds would be the type that are deterrents. So these are going to be deterring pests through a couple of different mechanisms. So marigolds, like these French marigolds, are highly fragrant, and that is masking the smell of the tomatoes and some of the other tasty plants to insects. So that smell is so overpowering that they're not able to detect or locate the tomatoes. Marigolds also emit a substance from their roots that inhibits nematodes from reproducing within the soil. So that's also a deterrent for any nematodes or soil-borne organisms. So that's one type. That's what our marigolds, and one of my favorite plants, is doing, is acting as a deterrent. I'm a big fan of marigolds, so you'll find a lot of variety of them within the vegetable garden. And this one, Orange Flame, is also one of my favorites and is going to act in the same way. It's also going to be a deterrent by scent and by those chemicals that they're emitting from their roots. But this lettuce is another really great example. People come in here all the time and they ask me, why do you let things go to seed? Because they just spread around, they look kind of spent. This is a really great example of a trap plant. So this lettuce I leave here because the slugs and the snails are eating all of this lettuce, which you can see it's all damaged from them, and they're leaving everything else alone. So that's my newly planted bok choy, some bush beans. They're really attracted to this and not to these, which is the benefit of leaving something like this and letting it go to seed. It does not help for rabbits, however. So the next category are things that are going to attract, and by attract, I mean beneficial insects. So things like amaranth are going to attract predatory insects like beetles that are going to be helpful because they're going to eat the other insects that might not be so beneficial in the vegetable garden. So you'll see how right here, this was a happy accident because it was a volunteer plant here. I had some planted here last year and it dropped its seed, and so all of this self-sowed, and I underplanted it with radishes. So this is a really fun example of how these companion plants can volunteer in your vegetable garden and can just really continue to benefit you, and you can work with them and plant underneath them. And they add a lot of color and a lot of beauty too. This kind of brings me into the final category of companion plants, which amaranth falls within this category as well. Those are plants that are going to benefit the soil structure. So amaranth has a really deep taproot that's able to break up the soil and aerate it. It kind of works as a tiller without having to till it by hand. This is another variety of amaranth. It's one of my favorite. It's called Dreadlock. It serves the same purpose as the others, but as you can see, it just adds this really stunning element to the vegetable garden. So just as a side note, when we're talking about plants that will help till compact soil, if you have compact soil, a great option for you is to plant daikon radishes or tillage radishes. These have the ability to grow really, really long taproots, and they're doing the same thing as the amaranth. They're breaking up that tough soil and allowing it to become more friable and plantable. And if we move right across the way, now this is borage, and if you look close, you can see it's already serving its purpose of attracting beneficial insects, pollinators like bees that are going to help pollinate the rest of the vegetables in the garden. But this is really a powerhouse for adding nutrients to the soil and benefiting its overall structure. Borage can act as a living mulch. Its stems are pretty delicate, so sometimes when I'm just working in the garden, pieces of it will break off. And if they do, I just lay them right back down into the bed because they add a ton of nitrogen into your bed and into your compost pile. Not only that, but the roots are drawing up micronutrients from the soil and making them more available for your plants. So this is a plant that I really just let go crazy, because I know that if I have to control it and chop it up a little bit, it's going to go right back into the soil and decompose and condition the soil and just help with the overall health of my plants. Not only does having companion plants in your vegetable garden bring a lot of beauty, but it also brings a lot of benefit to your plants and to the overall health of your vegetable garden, adding to the biodiversity and allowing you to have more abundance. Yay!